Why is everyone looking at us?
We're famous, man. Embrace it.
Let's do this!
This is the best day of my life. I'll get him to talk.
This might tingle a bit.
Guys, this way! No, never mind.
This December.
You and Mikey back me up.
Wait, where'd Mikey go?
Turtles love snacks.
They're brothers.
We're gonna have to fight.
He doesn't want to fight?
What was that, Leo? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
They're heroes.
Mutant monsters! You have to stop them. People are gonna get hurt.
Sir, you're in extreme danger.
Cats.
And now,
A storm is coming.
they're in for the shell shock of their lives.
I call it Mutant Omega.
This is it. The ultimate battle.
We can blow this whole story wide open.
You guys want in?
Obviously.
Alright, so the next bit of Ninja Turtles news to discuss is the new trailer for Season 2 of Tales of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We're going to go ahead and break it down, dissect every frame. That way we know what to expect when this thing drops in December. Let's go ahead and take a look. So the trailer starts off with Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Raphael sitting at a table in a pizzeria. We see that some of the humans are taking pictures of them and staring, and at first the turtles think it's because they're famous now, and they don't realize that it's actually because there's another mutant, a pretty large one, standing outside the window. Just as Michelangelo tells Raphael to relax, the mutant smashes through the window, sending them flying. We get a little section here with Raph and he's ready to fight. Then we have him leaping in the air, and it cuts to this shot here, and we see that he's in a fight with Rocksteady, which in previous versions of the Ninja Turtles would be the norm, but here in this Mutant Mayhem universe, which is where this Tales of the TMNT show takes place, the Turtles are friends with Bebop and Rocksteady at this point in time. One thing of note here is that Rocksteady's eyes are all white, which that's not normally the case, so maybe he's under some type of mind control. Another thing of note here in this scene is Raphael's outfit, and this appears to be the same outfit that he is wearing in those new figures that came out for the show, the ones that were labeled Battle Arena. So maybe there's some type of Battle Arena tournament that the Turtles have to participate in. The next frame here is Leonardo's title card, and he is also in his Battle Arena suit. We hear him say, "I'll get him to talk," as he points to what appears to be a big mutant turtle with green glowing eyes. At least I think it's a turtle. You can see his chest plate there, looks like the turtle's chest plate, and he seems to have a shell, which if this is a turtle, there's a good chance that this could be this universe's version of Slash, but we don't know for sure. Also, this is definitely that big mutant that they saw behind the window at the beginning of the trailer. Next, we cut over to Donatello's introduction, and here we can see that he is also fighting that big turtle. And shortly after this, we see Donnie in the Battle Arena gear like the other turtles. We next see Donatello pull down a lever, and we cut over to this parking garage type structure where there's all these cars parked in a circle and they have their headlights on, and we can see some energy blasts going off at the center of the circle. We then cut over to Michelangelo's introduction, and we get this interesting scene of Mikey telling his brothers, "Guys, this way," and when he opens some doors, you can see these tentacle monsters, which I'm not really sure what these are. A lot of mutants in last season were sea creatures, and this maybe could be more of them, but that's just a guess for now. These do have the same green glowing eyes like we saw with the big turtle earlier, so maybe it's a new batch of mutants that all have green glowing eyes. We'll see. We then get some really quick scenes, one with Leonardo telling Donatello to watch his back, and we see them out in public running on rooftops in broad daylight. We then cut over to this scene of Donatello and Michelangelo outside of a pizzeria. Mikey, by the way, wearing the iconic turtle in a trench coat look. We then get a couple more shots of Raphael and Leo here in their Battle Arena gear, and then there's this really big shot here of the Turtles and Rocksteady squaring off in the street. Raph says, "We're gonna have to fight," and Leonardo tells him that Rocksteady doesn't want to fight, but then moments later, we see Rocksteady strike Leo, sending him flying. Raphael kind of makes fun of Leo here as Leo smashes into a car. The trailer then shows this scene here of Raphael, and there's a lot going on here, so let's inspect this. First of all, if you look at the background, he's in that parking garage structure, the one that had all the cars in it that were parked in like a circle. We can see that the circle is actually a fighting ring. We see that Raphael is in his Battle Arena gear, and there's a crowd. We also see he's holding what looks like some type of a medal. Looks like he won the fight. He is a little dinged up though. I think this parking garage is the Battle Arena. Maybe there's like a secret tournament that takes place here where fighters from the city come together to fight. We next hear one of the turtles yell, "They're mutant monsters." And we get this shot here of this big mutant. I'm not sure what type of mutant this is or where something like this would have come from. This doesn't look like one of the mutants that would have mutated from Superfly's machine that he set off in the Mutant Mayhem movie, which that must mean that there's someone else out there creating mutants. There's probably a whole story just within that. We get another shot of this big monster, and it kind of looks like that big turtle that the turtles were fighting earlier is helping the regular turtles now. We see the monster knock them all back, and the turtles land near some construction workers. The trailer's tone then shifts a little bit here. It gets a little more serious, and we see a little bit more destruction happening on the streets. Store signs are falling. There's an explosion as you can see the turtles look on. I kind of like the shot of them here, by the way. I like how they're in the shadows. They need to do more scenes like this of the turtles in the shadows. They look really cool when they're displayed like that. The next shot we get is of this lady here with this big cannon gun thing, and she appears to be a whole new villain, and she does show up a little bit later here. But before we get there, we can see that the turtles and April arrive in this alley here, and they all have new gear on that we've never seen before. I wouldn't be surprised to see figures of these new looks here in the near future. It also looks like April has a motorcycle. It looks like she's wearing a helmet, and you can see the bike there in the background. Leonardo then looks up at a building that it looks like the turtles are trying to infiltrate. Leonardo says a storm is coming, and we get the biggest reveal of the trailer right here as we see what appears to be the character of Old Hob. This is big. Old Hob is a big character in the Ninja Turtles comics, and I do believe this is his first on-screen debut. And yeah, like outside of the classic, more well-known Ninja Turtles villains, he's one of my favorites. Definitely one of the more compelling Ninja Turtles characters that hasn't really been done that often, so this should at least be a little fun to see what this version of him is about. Anyways, we can see that the new lady villain is there with Old Hob, so yeah, it looks like they're working together, and we cut over to the scene of the turtles in a lab, and you can see that there's all these tanks filled with mutants. Then a lady whose face we don't see, who sounds like the villain lady that we just talked about, shows the turtles all the mutants in this lab, and she says that she calls it Mutant Omega. So I don't know if she's talking about like this project with all these mutants or that big monster mutant that we saw earlier. Maybe that's called Mutant Omega, but either way, a lot of crazy stuff going on here. I wonder what their whole plan is. Then we get this cool shot of Leonardo in the rain, a little Last Ronin-ish with like the aesthetics, which is cool. And then we get some quick action shots. Some of the more notable ones are Leo fighting the big turtle, Mikey getting snatched up by this big dog, again with green glowing eyes. Maybe it's a type of mutant dog. Then we have Leonardo cutting off this mutant arm. I love that. That looks great. And then we get this cool shot here of the turtles in those suits jumping across rooftops. Next, we see Raphael kicking both Rocksteady and Bebop. So Bebop will be there at some point with Rocksteady, and all of this looks like it's taking place in that battle arena, as you can see the cars there on the side. Then we have this shot here of Leonardo and April on that motorcycle, and Leonardo looks locked in here. They're definitely trying to get somewhere quick. And then there's this last scene of that lady again with that giant gun, and it looks like she blasts it at Mikey, but Leonardo blocks it with his sword. And then there's a couple funny moments here, but that's pretty much where the trailer ends. A couple of things I noticed: the turtles in most of the scenes are together. I wonder if they're taking a different approach from last season where the turtles were split up for most of the show. Personally, I like it better when the turtles are together. Maybe that's what we're going to be getting here. That'd be great, but we'll see. And yeah, it does look like Old Hob and that new lady villain are the ones making those mutants, right? I think that's what's going on here. Let me know though if you see it any other way down below in the comments. But that does it for this trailer breakdown. What do you think? Did I miss anything? Also, how are you feeling about the series? I would love to see what you all have to say down below in the comments section. But if you're new to the channel here and you want more turtle videos like this in your life, make sure to subscribe. All we cover on here is old, new, and upcoming turtle stuff. Also, share this video to any Turtles fans that you think may enjoy this type of content, and make sure to watch our last video there. You can see it pop up there in the corner. Once again, thank you everybody for watching. I will see you all in a little bit with another one. Take care.